Hello and welcome to the Always Dale podcast. If you're unfamiliar with Always Dale, we combine festival vibes with a house party atmosphere. I'm one of the co-founders, Santiago, and I'm sitting here with podcast extraordinaire and videographer Alex.
Cheers.
And a very, very special guest. Not only is he a renowned house producer, not only is he a label owner, the originator of a new genre internationally recognized called Speed House, but he's had his tracks played all over the world in some of the biggest festivals from Tomorrowland, EDC, Ultra Music Festival, the one and only House of Panda.
What up?
How you feeling?
Good, man.
Fantastic. Oh my god, it's House of Panda.
I'm starstruck. You guys are the Always Dale guys.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck.
I'm starstruck too, mostly because I can see my reflection on your sunglasses and just myself.
Yeah,
So
I'm starstruck for you.
we'd love to start this off with a little segment called Seriously Stupid. We're going to berate you with questions. We're going to go back and forth with a stupid question and a serious question, and you have to answer as many as possible within 3 minutes. How does that sound?
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Can you handle it?
I think so.
It's all about speed, and you're the Speed House king, so we'll see if you can handle it.
Let's go.
Hey.
Okay, we're going to start the timer now, and I'll keep tally. How the points work is 1 point if you just answer the question, 2 points if it's a good answer. And that's about it.
All right.
You ready?
10 points. Let's go.
Want to go first? Go.
Is it hard being the only panda in Winnipeg?
No.
What is good art?
Subjective.
Are pandas black with white or white with black?
It's a yin and yang.
Wow.
Wow, that's 2 points right there. What is the key to happiness?
Freedom.
Ooh. Pandas are shy animals. How do you meet new pandas?
I haven't been yet. I'm still shy, man. That's why I wear shades.
What is the worst advice you ever gotten?
Ooh. There's something from Josh, so
Something from DJ North makes
There's
sense.
no pandas. There's no Panda Express in Winnipeg. What does your diet consist of?
It's bamboo.
Bamboo and pho, from what I know.
Yeah.
What makes a good song?
Good melody.
Ooh.
Panda mating season begins in March. How's that going for you?
Shit, I didn't get the memo.
No pandas coming your way?
No, man. I thought it was July.
What do you think of Canada's rollout of COVID vaccine?
Canada's roll of COVID vaccine?
Yeah.
Serious
questions. We need you to answer this.
What do you think of
I don't
Trudeau?
Should DJs get the next vaccine? Should they be first in line?
You skipped me.
Should DJs be first? Yeah, sure. I mean, as long as it's a dick.
Can you give me your best? Can you give me your best panda mating call?
Skirt. Just kidding.
Who would have known? I'm gonna take his word for that. Has Biden done enough in his first days of presidency?
No, Biden sucks.
Oh shit!
Most pandas leave their infants around 18 months old. How is it growing up without a mother for you?
No, I got to stay with mine, so that's how it turned out all right.
What do you measure success by?
If you're completely happy doing what you're doing with your time.
Ooh.
Is it hard being away from your homeland?
Yes. It's too cold here.
Why do you love House of Panda name? What's your favorite part?
Panda.
The panda aspect? Yeah, not the house. Fuck houses.
Does size matter?
No.
Oh,
I think
look at
that's
this.
That's a good. We have a ton there.
That's it. We're out of time, baby girl. We did it. Good job. You have
Cheers.
a score. I tallied this
Cheers,
properly,
bro.
but
Bro.
all the tallies are there. 15, 19. No, you have 22. Exactly.
Currently,
get it.
Number one on our leaderboard.
He's number one on the leaderboard.
With no one else.
He's the
Hey.
fastest. Repping the Speed
King.
House. Speed
Yeah.
King. Fastest everywhere.
Second is Sasha with 0.
He literally refused to answer any, and we had to cut it out. Full disclosure. We
I'm
tried with Sasha.
trying to think. I'm
Zero questions answered.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
amazingly,
incredible.
you did a great job. I'm very impressed.
I overthought some of those.
You gotta not think. You gotta give us the raw answers. That's the point of the serious and
You gotta
silly.
say something that's gonna get you canceled.
Exactly.
That's the point of that's the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, starting off, we want to know your origins, your roots. Where did you come from, and what were your first music influences in that? And take us through the trajectory of what you listened to back then to what you listen to now.
Baby Panda.
Baby Pandas.
Man, where did I start? Like I first grew up listening to hip hop, up until like probably just before high school, and then I started like downloading free music through Napster. Most people probably don't remember that because unless you're pretty old, but
LimeWire, baby.
Just LimeWire. Me
yeah, it
too.
was like Napster. It was like
Just
Napster,
viruses.
Napster, and then LimeWire. But I would like search up like just like I would put it like techno and it'd be like all these different like tracks that have techno in the name. So I would download all this shit and I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. And it'd be like Darude Sandstorm and it'd be like in brackets techno.
Oh my
or it'd
god.
be like ATB 9 p.m. and then techno. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is all techno. So I download all this and I'm like, this shit fucks. And then from there, I went from getting like CD compilations, like those like Much Dance CDs, and then anything like that. And
Yeah.
those would have like the top 10 dance tracks of that year. And then I would collect a bunch of those, and then that's how I like really got into like music.
That's fantastic. It's crazy that your first introduction is through techno and through that virus device
And it wasn't
called Napster.
it wasn't even techno, right? People just labeled it as that. So.
Yeah.
What was like the first techno track you heard that made you even Google techno? Or like,
I think I was just a kid and like I knew what techno was and like
Yeah.
but I didn't know any of the track names, right? So yeah.
Right on. And last time, so if you haven't seen it yet, he's played a fire set on our stage a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and you see it
that
up on YouTube.
yeah,
And it's
that
a
was
full
hella fun.
techno set. So coming full circle. Do you see yourself playing more techno in the future? Is that something you want to kind of incorporate more?
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind. Like I do that for like an after hour set or something, you know? Like before COVID, I would do that here at like after hour shows, right?
Oh,
Like
nice.
I'll do like the club set and then go to after hours and play just strictly house and techno, right?
Fantastic. Yeah.
But now I'm digging like the full techno sets, so
Yeah, they're fire.
Yeah.
I love some of the stuff you played, and some of the stuff I already have downloaded. I'm like, oh my god, this is
yeah,
this is
it's just
the
like
shit,
a,
man.
it's just more like a rave energy, right? Like house is like fun and it's like groovy and stuff like that, but techno is just like
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any specific techno influences on you? Anyone you're currently listening to, maybe?
Right now I'm listening to a lot of T78.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah. It's a
Or
lot-
she, I don't know. It's or robot. Who knows what it is?
Yeah. He's
Alien.
He's definitely a guy from I think he's somewhere in Europe, but his stuff is very like hard hitting. It's a lot of like rave stabs and like old like rave influences with techno. So that's what I like.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and he even has some hip hop in some of the tracks. I've realized, but
Oh yeah,
Nesquik or whatever.
Yeah. He was using some samples in some of those. Yeah,
it's really cool.
it's dope.
What were some of the artists you would listen to in hip hop? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that was like popular here and like in America, like 50 Cent, Eminem, Biggie, Tupac, Nas,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
all that. Yeah,
90s, early 2000s hip hop.
yeah, big into that. That's
That's
all I
good.
listen to.
It's
Fuck
so
yeah.
young. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I got into it so late, so.
And there was like that was like the main thing, right? Like, I remember I would like purposely wait for like Rap City to come on Much TV. It was like 9 p.m. every Friday. They'd do like a top 10 like countdowns. It'd be like everything from like Wu-Tang to Biggie, Nas, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I'd be, oh, what's the hottest one right now? And back then, music videos were popping too, because like people actually put money into music videos. So it's like I would wait to see these music videos because they were like
Actually
a short
dope.
movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope.
Thanks for showing out Nas, by the way. Fucking, I love it.
Yeah, Nas.
He really needs a shout out. right?
Illmatic.
No one really knows him.
Yeah,
I'm a Nas dick rider. So.
Yeah, he's
Yo, you gotta be-
fantastic.
I just
You gotta be a real
think
hip
he doesn't
hop
get enough
fan. Dig Nas.
cred. I really think so. Honestly, he doesn't get enough cred.
Yeah, so you started off with going to hip hop, then to techno, etc. So were you always a big music nerd, and how did that transition into becoming a DJ?
I was here like obviously partying a lot. I got into the rave scene like 2005, 2006.
Nice.
Started going to raves a lot here, and then one of my friends was like a resident DJ at like the after hours here, and eventually I'd start bugging him like, yo, can you play this? Can you play that? I'm like basically requesting songs like
Yeah.
that I want to hear and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm like collecting a lot of music and stuff. Why don't I just try DJing? So I picked up like a used pair of like CDJ 800s, DJM 400s, like the small mixer.
Nice.
Off like a used site, and then I started practicing with that, and then I'm like, yo, like I actually want to do this. This is fun, right? So then after maybe like 4 months of like practice, I got my first like club gig in like a side room.
Oh,
and then
wow.
just kind of like went from there. Yeah.
Which club?
Republic.
Yeah. Damn, I heard about that one.
Yo, that's a legendary club, man.
Barely remember it.
That's awesome. And how was your first set? Were you nervous?
It was good.
Did you
like all my friends came and stuff, so I felt cool, and like I played like a 2-hour set. So yeah.
What kind of style was it? Like tech house?
It was like electro. Electro was big back then. A lot of
yeah.
electro. Like this is before even big room. This is like, yeah, a lot of like mainly electro and like Dutch house and stuff like that.
Oh, sick.
Like really early like Afrojack, early Chucky.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We should do a 2000s house night and then just go back to electro.
Hey, there's a lot of good music in that era that people miss. So,
Yeah. Fantastic. And then just taking out into like present day, how did that transition to you making music, and then going to where you are now?
Because I was like DJing for so long, like I was DJing for about 8 years, and I felt like my career wasn't gonna get anywhere for just DJing, especially locally, right? And then even if you DJ on a bigger scale, it's like you have to be more than just DJ. You gotta be like a DMC champion or like a turntablist or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a style like if I wanted a remix of a song and I can't find it, then I'll just kind of you just give up on finding the remix. But like so now it's like I got into like remixing songs I like, and then I was like, okay, I gotta take this production thing seriously and just go with it, right?
Yeah.
So I started taking classes with my mentor, my old mentor, Bass Clef, and then just went from there. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then so you're starting with classes that really give you kind of that foundation you needed to make.
Yeah, and then
music.
I was able to like ask questions like live and like get answers for things, right? Because if I watch like a YouTube tutorial and then if I had a question about something, I don't know, you have to comment on the comment section and kind of wait for the answer, right? So, yeah. It helps a lot to have a mentor to guide you through things, and it just like speeds it up so much.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of areas in my life, wherever it is, from fitness to business. Yeah. It's like if you can get a mentor, pay for a class, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, it's like going to the gym and you don't really know how to work out properly. Like you getting a personal trainer is gonna like speed you up your progress like so much, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And avoid injuries.
Yeah.
Or shitty songs, whatever you're trying to avoid here.
Yeah. Hey, in the beginning, I was making shitty songs, so I mean, right now I still think my songs are shitty until like they come out.
Yeah.
I was like huge like self doubt of like over listening to it too much, right? And then
how do you get over that?
You just have to remember in the beginning like how you felt about the idea before you listen to it like 1,000 times. Because in the beginning you make the idea like, oh, this is hot, and then once you get to like the minor things of like tweaking things and mixing it down and mastering it, you've heard so much like is this still like a hot track, or
is this even good,
or is this garbage?
I hate it now.
You start hearing all these like little things that you're trying to tweak it, but in the end people are going to hear it, and then I kind of just have to remind myself to like get over that.
Yeah.
And but it happens to everybody, So,
oh yeah, for sure. Anytime you create art, you just
even big artists like say they go through that too, and it's like it just kind of like everybody's going through this, so just like don't stress so much about the little details in the song and shit.
100%.
Yeah.
I find that too with like whatever, if you're editing a video or whatever you're making, it's like you start looking at it so much you lose the context of someone listening to it the first time. Like what the fuck, this sounds like something I heard before because I just listened to it 40 times or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah.
Do you send it to friends and stuff to like check?
Yeah, I'll send it to friends for like feedback and stuff, and then that makes me feel good because like if they think it's still a banger, then I'm like, okay, it's their first time hearing it, right?
Yeah.
But I'll always send to my friends for feedback and stuff.
Fantastic.
So you've had mentors in your life, and that's played a major role in terms of your career. How have you helped foster that in the community here, and like have you mentored other people?
Yeah, like locally, I've mentored like a few friends and stuff that were just kind of curious of getting production. They literally just started like maybe a couple months ago, and then now I'm mentoring like 5 students online through my old mentor's website, Bass Clef. So he has like courses on there that a lot of people go to, and then he'll kind of like find me mentor students through there, and then people want to sign up for House of Panda, they'll sign up for me, and then do,
Nice.
like 1 hour sessions. So
Can anyone right now go, or are you fully booked?
yeah,
How does it go?
anyone can go in there. Yeah,
That's awesome. So if you're listening, you want some classes,
yeah.
where do you go?
Bassclef.com.
Bassclef.com.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I know kind of part of that, part of your journey was actually going to Amsterdam dance event, meeting Tommy Sunshine, and then that kind of was a pivotal moment in your career. Can you kind of just give us kind of how it went down? How was it going first to the Amsterdam dance event and that whole experience?
Yeah, like I heard about this thing called Amsterdam Dance Event, like ADE, which is like the biggest dance music conference for the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, like I gotta like make a trip there and try to like make some connections and stuff because I didn't really know anybody, right?
Yeah.
And I had this music I was sitting on, so I was like, hey, I looked into it, like booked a flight there, got tickets for this like week-long conference, and then like there's like over like 20 things happening in a day, so you have to like schedule out who you want to see, which panels you want to go to, which workshops you want to go to and stuff.
Cool.
And then like it's like the third day was like Tommy Sunshine at this panel talking about I think it was like history of music. So I went there and I got there late because it was like a far walk, and then obviously like the panel was like packed, right? Because you had to go there early to get seats, right?
Yeah.
So I got there late. I had to like stand in the back, and I was like waiting till the end of this thing to introduce myself. I'm like, yo, Haus of Panda, got this like this music. I just started producing. Like, you want to check it out? And he's like, yeah, check it out. And he had CDJs there because he was like playing these songs for like everybody there, right? Mm-hmm. And then plugged it in, and the first song was my track Rewind Selecta, and then he was like, what is this? And I'm like, it's like call it like Speed House. It's like 145 BPM like bass house. And he's like, dig it. He's like, do you want to sign this? I was like, yeah.
Actually, no, thank you.
The only reason I was kind of like, because I was like, I uploaded this on SoundCloud last week before I came here, and then you guys like, well, you're still down to sign it? He said, oh yeah, it's fine, just take it off, we'll still take it. And I'm like, yes.
Fantastic. And what does that mean to be signed by someone? What does that?
Basically, you're signing the track to their record label, so like you're signing it to their record to distribute it and like promote it and all that, right? So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was Brooklyn Fire at the time, still.
Yeah.
And then that transitioned to you being signed by Brooklyn Fire as well.
Yeah. So that transitioned to me building a relationship with Tommy, and having all these other like more releases with Brooklyn Fire, and then now I have my record label under Brooklyn Fire too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
How essential is it to be signed to a record label? And would you recommend to artists starting out that they should get on a label, or I know a lot of artists go the independent route. So.
It just depends which way you want to work, because they're having people that don't sign to any record labels in the beginning, and hustle really hard to get like free releases and stuff. And I think if you do it strategically enough and putting enough money and work into it, then you can do it. But the label does help you, especially if you don't have any connections to the industry.
Yeah.
The label does help you reach like more ears. Like they'll send promos to like certain DJs and stuff. DJs will hear it, and then otherwise you wouldn't have been able to contact them because you don't know them, right? So
definitely.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's in that process that kind of how you got your music onto like Tomorrowland and EDC.
It was like through Tommy and Brooklyn Fire, right? He promoted it to whoever, like Tiesto, Jaws, etc., and then like DM them and stuff, right? Same thing, like promo, and then they hear the track and like they're like, this is dope. I want to put it in my set. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so sick. That must be crazy experiences.
Yeah.
Is that would you say that Amsterdam Festival was like one of those pivotal moments?
Yeah, for sure. Like if I didn't go that year, then I would have made those connections. Like I still met other people there too. Like met my boy DJ Q. He's like a big remixer in the States, and he's super dope. Met him. Just a bunch of other people just networking, right? And like just learning things too, learning how the industry works, because like there's like so many different panels talking about how the industry's growing, like what's new this year and stuff like that, right? So I've been every year since. Except for last year, so.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to go. I love.
Oh yeah, Amsterdam's
crazy.
dope. Yeah. Even just going to be a tourist in Amsterdam, it's like so much fun, right? It's like so much to do, and it's like.
Yeah, they have so much like what you're there for partly. They have like all legalized like psilocybin and like marijuana and such a cool. Just a really interesting city, really cool nightlife. And
you can walk everywhere too. Like everything's probably
crazy.
like like max 30 minutes walk if you're going super far. But everything's like in the city center. It's like 20 minutes, right? So
Yeah, and it's such a kind of progressive city, and it's really interesting. And yeah, definitely suggest going there. But it's super expensive. Like even hostels are like stupid money.
Yeah, the first year I went, I just stayed in a hostel. It was like not like a hostel, but it was a hub hotel.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like you have your own pod pretty much.
Oh shit!
So that was like a little cheaper. Like, cause I didn't want to stay in a hostel with like different people and stuff, and like it's just like this little pod.
No way. How was that? Did you die? Did you get claustrophobic?
No, it's actually like not. It's like the size of like half of this room.
Oh shit!
But the same height.
Oh okay.
So you have your bed, and then you have like your desk, and then the floor for your suitcase.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
That's not
in
bad
terms
at all.
of festivals, what was like your first festival? What's your favorite festival?
My favorite for sure has to be EDC.
Yeah.
Has to be EDC. I've been like 6-7 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Any favorite year from EDC?
Any favorite year? 2014, for sure.
Why?
Yeah.
It was like that was like the peak of the ED. I think that was like probably the peak of EDM big room.
Ooh.
Like 2014, 2015, but 2014 had like I think the biggest stage in like festival history out of any festival.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, this thing was like they called it the Kinetic Cathedral, and it was like a fucking church on the fucking stage.
So what a fucking name.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was like, I've never seen that many people at the main stage too, but at that time that had the best like big room, right? And I was always a big fan of that, so
that's fantastic.
yeah, I miss that shit.
And you just love, what do you love about EDC?
Just the whole vibe, and like there's like so much different music there and stuff, and just like I feel like it's more, even though it's so big, it's still spacious and more spacious than like other festivals I've been to that like a little bit more crowded.
I found it really like packed tight, but I do like the variety. And then if you tend to go to the smaller stages, you got way more room.
Yeah.
If you're packing in a big stage.
Yeah, if you're going like
Skrillex,
if you're going like in the middle, it's gonna be super
chaos.
packed.
Yeah.
I just stay at the back.
You can hear it. You can hear it everywhere.
Yeah, all my space.
And then the artists after.
Me too. But.
And then part of your experience, I know, has been kind of getting brought on stage for Ultra.
Yeah, that was dope.
How did that come to be, and how was that experience?
Yeah, that was like through Tommy, because we had a track called The Power coming out on Musical Freedom.
Oh, it's fire. Yeah.
Thanks.
Check it out.
Thanks. Yeah, and he was like, you wanna premiere this at Ultra? I'm playing again this year. I'm like, yeah, like fuck yeah, let's go. So then he's like, I think he played Friday or Saturday, I can't remember. But then yeah, we just like got like wristbands for me and everything, and then took like the shuttle to like the artist area, and I'm like passing by the main stage, and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm like fucking backstage at the main stage at Ultra in Miami.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he's like, I wasn't kind of prepared for this, because he was like telling me like, hey, once you hear the power, like just grab the mic and just run up on stage. I'm like oh shit.
Oh, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
What do you do with the mic? Were you supposed to speak? Were you supposed to say something?
Yeah, and just like I just got on stage, and I was like, I'm pretty sure if you find Tommy's set from Ultra 2019, you can find me, like you can find like a clip of me yelling on the mic.
Fantastic.
Like I ran up, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is up, Ultra?
Go cut that, put it in podcast.
But I was nervous as hell. This stage is massive, and I was like, the first time being on something so this big.
Holy
it's
shit.
Ultra, you know, like it's like a fucking one of the main festivals in the States. And just backstage, like pacing around until I fucking hear the song come on, and then like I hear it, like, oh shit, like
Palm sweaty, arm spaghetti.
Yeah. Don't trip on the stage, like fuck.
Don't choke.
Yeah, don't choke.
Did you get to see? Were you starstruck by some of the artists you got to see backstage?
Yeah, like everybody was backstage, and it's like, you know, like all the big EDM artists, right? Like Armin, Zed. It's like we were in like the artists like the artist green room area, which was on a yacht.
What the fuck?
On a yacht?
Yeah, on a giant yacht, and it was like
it's on the water.
Yeah, so everybody has their own like like green rooms in there. So we're walking, it's like Salvatore Ganacci, and then you go inside, and they give you like meal tickets.
Oh my god!
So we go to the cafeteria, and then Armin was there, and like all these other big artists was there, and I'm like, holy fuck.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, I mean, just this new kid, right? Just standing there, like, it's pretty cool.
Gotta spit some bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. So, just so the people know, what is Speedhouse and what were its origins?
And how much speed do you do?
How much speed do
That's
you
the
do
real
to produce
question.
that type of house?
How much speed have I done?
You don't have to answer that. You can just answer what is speed house.
Intentionally.
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it's like I always have a hard time explaining this because it's kind of like different things put together, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like bass house with electro, with hard house, like speed garage, like, even like bass line, kind of like because they're not all present in each song. Like they're kind of like influenced in different ways, like whichever way you can take speed house, right?
Yeah.
But it's like 4 on the floor, like between like 140, 150, maybe even higher, maybe even a little lower. Depends on the vibe of the track, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, like when I was like first started producing, I was like, you know, like I wanted to make bass house, so I was listening to a lot of stuff like Joyride, Moxie, Jaws and stuff. And there was a Moxie and DJ Snake track called Pigal, and it's 135 BPM. So I was like, fuck, this is dope. I'm like, what if I tried to do something like this, but like even faster, right?
Yeah.
So I started making something like 140, 145. And like 145 for a long time was kind of like what I was making like speed house at. Because it was just like, it just felt natural. I don't know why. But like, I would like do like new projects and stuff in like 145. And I'd go back to my sessions with Bates Clef in my mentor sessions. I'm like, yo, like I'm making this stuff. And it's like 145 BPM bass house. And then he's like, yo, this is dope. He's like, yeah, if it feels natural to you, then just run with it because it's different, it's unique, right? And then eventually every week I would come see him and then have like more of this stuff, and he'd be like, you're making this stuff faster than your 128 tracks, so like I think you should definitely run with this. And I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And I just fucking stuck with it, you know, and you know, turned out to be like an actual thing. So
100%. Yeah, it's fantastic. It definitely has a unique style to it where it's like this isn't. Sometimes it's almost techno, but it's faster and it's more like bassy. It's like a little bit different, and you can kind of listen to it and be like, oh, this does have a unique sound. I understand why this has its own genre.
Yeah, it's like house drums, but like not exactly like hard house, because then the leads and like the rhythm is like more like bass house and electro than it is to hard house. Mm-hmm. So it's like that, or it's like has like a bass line kind of rhythm to it, right? So
yeah,
but the sound design is like what makes it really. It's like sound design from like electro, bass house, and bass line kind of like rinsed and like used together, right? So
100%. And then how did it go from being kind of a thing that you were playing to becoming a full-blown genre? How did it start growing, and how? Yeah.
I don't know really. It just kind of like happened organically. Like it just when I was doing it in 2017, like there wasn't a lot of it out really. Like there's stuff that was like similar, and then 2018, Jaws has 2 tracks out that were like that, and I was like, oh shit, like this is like, you know, could be a thing. And then you start seeing more tracks come out like that in that style, right? So, and then like fast forward to like 2020, like speed house was like official genre on or subgenre on Beatport, right? So yeah, now there's a whole like tab of like tracks. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy from going from there all the way to where it came out. Did you ever have doubts of like sticking with the branding of Speed House and so on?
Yeah, I mean even in the beginning, like because I have so much like kind of like respect for like dance music, I've like been like in the scene for so long, or like been like a partier in the scene since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Didn't want to feel like I was like, you know, like just like here's a new genre and kind of like stepping on toes and like making something that's not right. But eventually, like when I was making it more, it was like it doesn't fit enough with bass house to like call it bass house, because like it's different, right? So it took me a while before I was like confident to call it like and be like, this is a speed house and this is what the sound sounds like, right? And that's what I had my my Speed House 1 EP. And then even from then, that was like early 2008 to like 2020. In that time, there wasn't like a lot of that coming out, and the stuff that was like catching on was like almost like it was like slowed down. Like tech house was like stuff that like 124, 125 was like the vibe for like, you know, like 2018 to 2019 was like the tech house like mainstream like explosion, right?
Yeah.
So and it's like it wasn't getting too much support still. Like I still had like, you know, like the odd like Tiesto play my track, Jaws play my track, but it wasn't getting rinsed as much as other tracks. So I was like wasn't sure if it was gonna kind of stick. But like it was like the most natural thing for me to make, so I just kept doing it, and then eventually like especially this year, there's so much of it, or last year in 2020.
Yeah, fantastic. And that kind of got you to making the label itself.
Yeah.
And then having other artists play on that. When was that, and like how was that experience?
Yeah, that started in November 2020. Because people were just like sending me demos for like tracks, and they were like speed house tracks, and I would just pass them on to Brooklyn Fire. And then Tommy's like, you're getting so many of these demos, like why don't you just start your own imprint? And I'm like,
oh cool,
like shit, like if you think I should, I'm down, you know, like I'm down to like build something off of this, and like let's do it. So that's why he helped me start my label under Brooklyn Fire.
Wow, Tommy Sunshine sounds amazing.
Yeah,
he's
man,
super supportive.
He's good, man.
You have sunshine.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's amazing. It's great to have kind of that support.
Yeah,
around
like
you,
went from like
people cheering on.
This guy I just met, and now we're kind of like brothers, right? So yeah,
fantastic. So what would you say would be the biggest mistake you've made in your career up to this point?
Biggest mistake.
Other than this interview.
This would be a second biggest mistake. I don't think about that often. So like now it's kind of like something I have to like think about.
That's it. You learn, kids. No, never think about. Always think positive.
Yeah.
And you'll make it. Manifest.
I don't sit on something and like dwell on it, like fuck, I shouldn't have did that, or like I don't know. But I really don't know. Like I'm trying to think right now, and I really don't know. Like maybe could have fucking mixed and mastered a song of mine better.
That's wow. Like little details.
Yeah, but nothing like really negative sticks out where I'm like, fuck, I wish I never did that, or I wish this didn't happen. But
yeah,
I mean, if it didn't happen, I might not even be here, right? So
100%. Yeah, and it seems like you stayed active. Like you went to those events that you need to go to, and like you've done a lot of the right moves to get to where you're at. So.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Fantastic.
Well, what's your perspective on like marketing music, and like what advice would you give to up and coming artists nowadays, especially in terms of social media? What would your take be on music marketing?
I mean, marketing is definitely a big part of it now, especially we're in like the digital like social media era, right? Like everything has to be like promoted on social media and like pushed as hard as you can and to catch people's attention, right? And there's so much music coming out that how do you stand out too? So I mean, you definitely have to be active on social media even if you don't like it, because like personally me, I don't want to spend a lot of time on social media because I'm like a pretty private person, but I know I have to do it, right? You can't just put out a song and hope it hits when you don't promote it. But yeah, like definitely promote it as hard as you can, promote it to as many DJs as you can, like not spam promo, like we just find like an email list and just like CC everybody, like hey, because it sounds so generic. It's like hey bud, like this is my new like track or like whatever, right? Just like
hey DJ insert name.
Yeah, you try to build a relationship with those DJs before you promo them, but yeah, just like you just have to like do as much as you can. Even I haven't got into this, but I know TikTok is huge for music, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably people like dancing to your tracks. I think I've seen some posts.
Yeah, my friend showed me. He's like, yo, yeah, your songs are actually like getting used on TikTok. So I'm like, maybe I'll jump on it. Like I don't like making content if I don't feel like I have an idea for it. I don't like forced like cheesy content just for, like clout, right? Like your likes and shit. So but maybe
TikTok dances next. We're not going to see that.
Please.
Maybe I'll do like production tutorials or something on TikTok and just whatever.
Oh fuck yeah. Or like music process ones, those are super sick.
Yeah.
Like you just start with a sound, like go and make something.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Yeah.
Look really awesome. Yeah.
You totally have to do what feels natural to you as an artist.
Yeah, so like I don't want
to.
People are like, you gotta make content. I'm like, yeah, but I want to make like content I'm gonna be remembered for, not like just. Like doing some trend to try to promote my song,
Yeah, and it's also like I've learned it's not even like a lot of these TikTokers put a lot of work. It's not that easy sometimes. Yeah, so it's like if you're gonna take away time from your music, like it might as well be worth it.
Yeah, like I've seen people make them, and I'm like, man, you gotta put in like hella work into that because you're like stopping, recording, editing, stopping, recording, editing, right? So
yeah, should be something you believe in for sure.
Yeah. Anything specifically within music marketing that you found effective, or is it just everything promoting?
I think being consistent on promos for sure, and just connecting with the right people, because if you're persistent enough, eventually they might not even see it, but if they do see it, like, oh, this guy that I don't know is making a lot of music and he's sending me music every week. So they might check it, and if it's that one hit, then it's huge.
So you're saying spam House of Panda's Instagram DMs.
Just
you heard it here first. Blow up his DMs with your music. I'm joking.
Or go to take his class, even better.
Yeah.
Pay for it. Yes.
My promo inbox is already like kind of blown up. And it's hard to like keep track. But if I do see someone that's named like every week, I'm like, hey, like I want to see who this is because they have a new like track like every week or new like edit or whatever, right? So.
Oh, cool. Because they're producing and they're consistent.
Or make something. This is a good one. Make something that a DJ would play at a festival, like a remix or like an edit or a bootleg of it.
Yeah.
Because if that track is popular and like they can't find like a good remix that they like and you have it, that's you're in with them.
Oh,
smart.
Take notes, everyone.
Yeah.
Take notes. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
So you talked about how you started in the rave scene around 2005. How has it changed within Winnipeg, at least, from 2005 to raves now and day?
Yeah, I mean, like I think, like throughout the world, throughout this side of the world, it's changed kind of the same way where it went from being pretty underground, people thinking it was like such a counterculture thing. Well, it was a counterculture thing, but the people thought it was like so different and like it was like weird to like I'd be in high school and like I just went to like a rave in the week, come back and tell my friends like, go to a fucking rave, like what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, like I found out from this like my buddy of mine, and he found out from another buddy, right?
Yeah. They all think you're
like
sketchy as fuck.
bad.
Yeah, they feel sketcy about it, right? Because like like people like, oh, you go in there, you're doing drugs, and it's like a
Not necessarily.
yeah, not necessarily,
No. Plead the fifth at that point.
Yeah. Doing other things too.
Yeah.
And then
but the whole underground vibe is amazing.
yeah, but it was like this is like a thing that's like not even just here. It was like all over. Like you wouldn't even know where the venue was till the day of, because like the promoters didn't want to get shut down by cops, right? Because if they find out like the raves here on Saturday, they're gonna plan for like to shut down. But like if you release it the day of, it's hard for them to kind of track that. Like they might come later on the night, but they won't shut down the first 40 hours, right?
Yeah.
Or no, first 4 hours.
40 40-hour raves.
What kind of raves were you
First
going
4
to?
hours.
Oh,
The whole
shit.
weekend you're just there. You're just like, shit, man.
Yeah, some of them.
Come back to school. You're just like, I was at a rave. I haven't slept in 2 days.
Yeah.
Help.
It's a marathon, baby.
No. First 4 hours, but like, yeah, you would just like get this flyer from like a restaurant, like a restaurant that this guy owned or whatever, and then you just call the number. It's like a voicemail, like, oh, like this is the whatever promotions, like the raves here tonight at this time. So then you just drive to like the fucking warehouse or whatever.
Yeah.
And just kind of like listen to where the music was coming from, or like look for where the lineup was. But yeah,
That's crazy.
and you go from that to like stuff now where you have like Live Nation selling tickets for like events all over the world for this shit, and it's like,
Do you see it as a positive shift in terms of the culture? Because I know that like legitimizing it definitely is a positive move, and I'm pro that. But do you think that it's possibly taken away from some of the culture in terms of its values and maybe the things it stood for? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is very different. The vibe back then was different. Now, it still is like that, but with commercialization, you're gonna get people that that are like whatever, like troublemakers and whatever. But like back then, I was trying so hard to get people into that scene because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Like you gotta come try something. Like, oh no, it's like I'm scared to go and this and that. I'm like, and then eventually it happened in like 2010, 2011. Like everybody started going to these things, and like this is exactly what I wanted. What all my friends in high school to go to this shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But then with that it became people with kind of like elitism kind of like attitude, like, oh, like you don't need to be here. And then like the people with that attitude, like, you just got into this. You just got into this like in 2011, 2012, and it's like 2014, and it's like EDM elitism. Like, oh, it's like you shouldn't be here. Like it's not for like douchey people. Blah. I'm into like techno. I'm into
better
like
than you.
this. Yeah.
It's like certain genre. You listen to that genre. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
blah,
there's
blah.
that attitude, and then many of the people, like the people that I grew up with in that scene, like wanted this because we wanted like our other friends to come here, like our friends that went to the clubs that were scared to go to raves.
Yeah,
we wanted you to come here because like like it was like an awesome party, right? And it was like good vibes and whatever. Like, but yeah, I mean, with commercialization, you're gonna get just
It's a different
right?
change of scene. I definitely say that like I love EDC. I've been a couple of years. But like having it sponsored by like Bud Light and Red Bull, it's definitely like a change of scene and culture than what it previously was in terms of the more underground communal vibes and communal atmospheres.
There's
people,
still,
good
still
vibes,
is,
you would say.
Yeah.
It's still there, but I'd say to a lesser degree. It's,
like maybe like if you go to like Shambhala, that you'll get that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Or I mean, there's places all over that are still doing like underground raves. You just might not hear about them as much, but they're there.
Yeah, you can still find the kind of underground culture, and it's interesting. Yeah, as I've also seen it grow from like the start of high school, no one's listening to it, to the end, people going to, at least in Winnipeg, was like Summer Sound was a huge kind of turning point where it's like now this is mainstream here. Like everyone's going. Before people were making fun of how people dress, and now everyone's dressing that way.
I think if you want to like look for like that, like maybe don't go into VIP or like don't like be around shitty people and stuff.
Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah.
No, I honestly think it's a positive shit.
It's who you go with and stuff. Like people are just gonna complain like, oh, there's people there just like fucked up and not into the music and stuff, and it's like, well, why are you even paying attention to that? Like,
why you
be one of the people that's into the music.
Yeah, you're ruining your experience by watching these other people and like judging them. So it's like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how have you been adapting to COVID and quarantine and everything that's been going on? How has it impacted your life and your music?
I mean, it's helped me make more music because I'm home all the time, right? So, but yeah,
chained to your desk and just producing song after song.
Yeah.
Until Tommy Sunshine says stop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, in the beginning it was hard because you're first adjusting, right? You're like, what the fuck's going on in the world? And you're like, I'm not like used to this, and it's like you kind of just like get lazy. You want to start getting into gaming more, and just not getting work done, right?
That's fair.
And after a while, I was like, okay, I need to get out of that because I'm like gaining weight, and I need to like get music done because like music shouldn't stop even though there's no shows. People still listen to music. People still stream music, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it took me a while in the beginning, and now like probably within the last 6 months, I finally feel like I finally got back into the groove of making music, and now like I realize I have more time and I make more use of it. So
fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah, just learning to like stay healthy while you're inside too, like not go like when the gym was closed, like I was like, okay, I can't stay in and then just fucking gain weight. So I had to fucking force myself to do like home workouts, and then that built that into my routine now. So yeah.
No, we've been all about the home workouts. Yeah. And then it's great because then it becomes more convenient than going
you
to the
save more
gym.
time. You do like a 30-minute like workout, and you get a sweat in, and like you're like, why did I go to the gym?
Yeah. And like my shower's here. I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to see anybody.
Yeah.
That's kind of ideal.
Yeah.
And then part of that journey was actually having to come back from Toronto. What was your experience like in Toronto and then coming back here?
Yeah, like I mean, I love Toronto. Like I can't wait to go back. It was like I just moved there in January of 2020, and then I started picking up shows and stuff, and then I started doing some touring shows with the Czech Republic, and then I played in North Carolina, and this all happened like in like February, March.
So cool.
And then when I came back from Czech, it was like the beginning of COVID in like America and Canada.
Yeah.
And I had like another like gig booked in April. Like it was like my first headlining gig out in Ontario. It was in a city called Hamilton at the EDM club there, and then that had to get canceled. And then I was also booked for another festival in Toronto for June for Ever After Festival.
Nice.
And that got canceled, and then all the clubs shut down. So I'm like, fuck.
Fuck. Like maybe there's hope, but no, they just keep taking it away one by one.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, 2 weeks and we're back open, and then like it's 2 weeks and then it's a month and then it's 2 months, and then you're like fucking it. And I'm like,
it's been a year.
Living in Toronto's like getting expensive, so I'm like, I need to like go back to Winnipeg. And plus I want to check on my parents too, because I didn't know how serious like COVID was gonna get. Like it sounded like like everyone's gonna just drop dead. Yeah. So I flew back here, and then I was gonna chill here for a bit, and then I ended up staying here a lot longer because COVID's not done, and then Ontario's still like
shut down.
Yeah, they still shut down. So it's like, what's the point of going back there for?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Seems like the right move. And then once they have gigs open up, you're thinking of going back to Toronto and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on.
Yeah, definitely like Toronto, or maybe Vancouver. I like Vancouver too, but I do miss Toronto a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where? Do you think that's like the music hub?
I would say Toronto is, for sure. Like, well, I mean, like Vancouver is too, but Toronto more so. But for like most like more music, like hip hop and pop and EDM. So
You might get Drake on a track. So
Yeah, man.
Maybe.
R&B Speedhouse remix.
Yeah.
Pitching ideas to you. See if any of them land. Sasha takes all of them and does it. So we expect the same from you.
my first Speedhouse track was a Drake remix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a remix of his track KMT, and it's like it got taken off SoundCloud.
What? It got taken off SoundCloud? I don't know.
Yeah, it was
got
on
taken
there.
off SoundCloud.
It was literally on there for like probably a year before they took it off. It gave me a copyright strike.
Damn.
It's still on my Instagram. Like
Gotta get that
you can
remix
hear
official.
the clip of it. So
Damn.
that was like my first like experiment with Speedhouse, and then that was the first one. But
So all credits to Drake and the 6, you know.
Yeah, man.
6 side.
Without that song,
would have been nothing. Yeah, so one of the topics we want to cover is in light of those recent attacks against the Asian community. I just want to hear your perspective throughout this. Have you been posting on social media? And kind of bring some light to that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like just super fucked because it's been happening like since beginning of COVID, but it seemed to be getting worse these last couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I started seeing it more from like beginning of like this year, January, till now. Like almost like every day, like at least one instance of like an elderly Asian getting pushed or beat up like randomly, right?
So fucked.
It's unprovoked. Like I mean, and that's only what they catch on camera, like what's been caught on camera, right? And what's being reported. So like, there's probably more out there that don't even get caught, right? So, and then that like got worse and worse and worse, and then we're last week where 8 people get shot and killed, and 6 of them were Asian women at 3 different Asian businesses, right?
Yeah.
And it's just gotten to a point where it's like what's it gonna take to stop this, you know? And it's like it almost feels like a little like not hopeless, but like it's hard to like see like where the end is on this because there's so many like racists out there, you know? Like how do you change the way they think and stuff like that?
Yeah, how do you cure someone who's like mentally fucked, basically?
Yeah,
like, you can't educate someone out of being that
like,
ignorant.
Yeah, I mean, like always like show love to like, you know, like to like love is the answer to like you can't like show hate back, you know, because like they're gonna get mad back, and it's like it's just gonna increase violence, right? But it's almost like you have to because it's almost like they see Asians as like a weak race because of like stereotypes in movies and stuff, like Asians are nerdy, Asians are good at math, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And it's like why would you like go shove like an elderly Asian, you know? It's like you only think they're weak, you know? Like you wouldn't like it doesn't happen to like a lot of other people, you know?
Yeah, it's super fucked, especially right. So they're probably associated with the Asian with COVID and so on, but it's crazy. It's picked up so much now. But I remember when just COVID like barely hit.
Yeah.
And in France when I was there, my Asian friends were just like, I'm getting comments and bullshit and like things thrown at me, like not like just people saying very rude things.
Yeah.
And it's just that must be fucking unsettling and just so ignorant, right?
Yeah. And I think that worried me was that it was gonna cause more attention to it, so more these people that are like that was like, I want to do that now because
I think that's what's happening. It's like more people are kind of coming on board.
I was almost like scared in the beginning to share it because I didn't want to like someone else to see it and then it get popular where someone's like, oh, like it's trending, you know? Like like there was a thing like a couple of years ago where something was trending where people would run up on people and just punch them in the head. It was in the States. It was like the dumbest thing. How is this trending?
Like,
you know,
gold star trends.
Yeah, people just do this for what? It's just dumb. And then I was like. But you know, like you have to bring attention to it no matter what, because people have to realize that you have to look out for each other. Or if you see like an elderly Asian or like, you know, someone walking by themselves, it could be someone running up on them trying to attack them, right? So it's better to have have awareness than not, you know. So
and if you're aware of the events, at least you can now, right? Like that shooting, some of the cops were saying, oh, it has nothing to do with like Asian, but like this is clearly a trend.
Yeah,
and it's like
and it was like people have been pleading for more attention for this. Like so many companies have already like spoken out about this. Yeah. So how can you say it's not hate crime? And it's like this guy went to 3 Asian businesses. Like you know, Asian people are gonna be at the business working there. Yeah. You know who you're gonna kill behind the counter, and it's like, how can you say it's not hate crime? You know,
100%.
The cop was also racist too. So.
Yeah. There's levels you have to address. We have no solutions here, but awareness.
Yeah, it's awareness. Like just
publicizing it.
Yeah, just looking out for each other. You know, just like, and now even when I drive, like I live near Chinatown, so like when I'm driving, I see like a Chinese grandma or grandpa like just walking around. I just kind of look out that there's no one like gonna run up on them. Right?
Yeah.
Because it did happen to my friend's grandma here. So like 3-4 months ago.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked.
I think people forget, like, that's someone's family member. Like, this is a beautiful human being. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, it's like the lowest of the low, you know? It's fucked.
It's insane.
Speaking, I don't know if you want to get into this, but speaking of suffering, you just mentioned previously about Buddhism and possibly a slight interest in towards that. Is that something you wanted to dig into at all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, it, like, in depth, because, like, my family's, like, grew up Buddhist, right?
Okay.
But if I was to explain something from it, like, in depth, I don't know enough. Like, I just know, like...
Well, we need you to quote every single...
Just the I guess so more so the impact of the philosophy on you, possibly, because I know very little about it, but just the idea of, like, life being suffering and kind of the acceptance of that, I think it's helped me and, like, philosophically put a framework to my life where I appreciate, you know, the negatives and kind of embrace the suffering
that's like
of life,
like
you know?
you gotta embrace the suffering, because like life is just non-stop suffering. You're always gonna find, like, stress and problems, or else, like, you know, like, if life had no obstacles or no like things you have to get over, like, is it worth living? Because when you get over those obstacles and you overcome things, that's what makes life worth living, right? You know, like, you feel like you're making progress, you can do better, and this and that. So yeah.
Just embracing those different aspects of life. Any other ways that kind of those Buddhist teaching has impacted your life?
Just being like, my mom always taught me to be like compassionate and stuff to people. Like, it's like, I mean, I was a pretty bad kid growing up. So I don't get in trouble. Like, you know, like, why'd you get in a fight, or why'd you this and that? And it's like,
why'd you punch DJ Norik?
Yeah.
That was last week though. Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, like, even then, she's like, you know, don't hurt people, or don't hurt like, you know, like, animals and stuff like that. So
Passion.
Yeah.
That's huge. And we were also touching on your thoughts on, is life a simulation? We want to know from the top of the head of Speedhouse. He'll know.
Is life a Speedhouse simulation?
I don't know. I mean, we don't know if it is or if it's not, right?
That's why we're asking you.
You know.
Tell us.
I feel like, I mean,
do you think it could be?
It could be. I mean, like, you know, this all, like, feels real. Like, all of this feels real. But how do you know you're not, like, plugged into, like, some kind of, like, you know, like, higher tech version of, like, Oculus, you know?
Yeah. Crazy VR.
Where you touch something and then, you know, you feel the sensation, but your brain's also feeling it. So it's like sending a signal. But
yeah, it's just in your head.
It goes back to, like, Buddhism too. Like, I mean, because I got into meditation and stuff within the last year. And I've kind of gone to this thing where, you know, I truly believe consciousness is separate from who you are. Yeah. So if you're meditating, like, your consciousness is watching your thoughts and whatever go by, right? And you can move your consciousness to different parts of your body, and you can move your consciousness outside of your body. So if your consciousness is separate from, you know, what this is, then you're technically watching something through a lens, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, in that way, I guess it is a simulation.
Whoa. Our minds are being blown if you're listening to this on Spotify. They hit the wall in the back. He has the answers. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm a big fan of meditation. I've been getting more regularly into it now.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it impacts your life? Do you think it makes things easier?
For sure. That's like the number one thing that kind of like that I was glad I got into in the past year. Because like I was going through some dark times too. I was like super depressed and stuff because like just getting frustrated with work and like money and like just like the way things were going, right? And now it's the point that I'm like, you know, if I stay this depressed for this long, this is gonna not go to a good place, and I have to do something about it, right? I can't like be stuck like this. So, got into meditation and then just started doing some guided meditations, and I'm like, fuck, I feel like 100 times better after like these like 20-30 minute guided meditations and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, and then became like almost like an addiction where it's like I have to have this in my day. Like it's like brushing my teeth. If I don't do it, I feel weird, or like I don't feel like as good as I do like after it, right? So like built it into like my daily routine. Like I was doing it like at the end of every day, and then I started doing it like every night and every morning.
Nice. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's
Listen
huge.
up. Listen up.
It's a clear mental reset, and it just
And
just
it's
let
like
go of everything.
Yeah, and there's so many benefits. Just like the way you think clearer, you're more relaxed. Like you know, you're able to handle problems better and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen it helps you at least identify like thought loops you get yourself into.
Yeah, thought loops too. Like I was getting to like, you know, like something that was like I'm getting my nerves. I would just like be stuck on that, and then you know you're stuck on a negative like thought loop, right? So it's just like now I can like kind of catch those thoughts before they even become a loop or become like a thought pattern, right?
Awareness.
Yeah, just being aware.
Awareness.
Exactly.
It's I used to like never like even look into it, like, oh, this stuff's like woo woo whatever, and now it's like I'm telling everybody I know, like, you have to like like add meditation to your schedule. Like if someone's stressed out, like you should meditate, like, you know.
If you want to make good speed house, you got to meditate.
Yeah.
It also won't come out right.
It's a very meditative music. I'd recommend meditating in Speed House.
Yeah.
Speed house. A speed house guided meditation. This is House of Panda. This is the track Power.
Yeah. People are just like more anxious after, like
I just want to go.
yeah,
Run.
Amazing. I think that's all our questions. This was fantastic. I got to know a lot about
great,
you.
Man.
I think so did the audience. I got a lot of good advice. Anywhere they can find you, put a little plug. Where can they find you?
Yeah, House of Panda or the House of Panda, depending what you're looking for, but just mainly those on all my socials, and yeah.
Fantastic. Go follow him and stay tuned. And go check out his techno live stream set on our channel on YouTube. Yeah. It's really fire. I've been listening to it at work and working way faster. So
hey,
that's my recommendation. Thank you all for tuning in. And take care.
Thanks, man.
Peace.